Hey y'all, this is Toya. You tuned in to Healthy Talks and Walks with Toya, where we are generational curse breakers that are growing in the uncomfortable. So today I want to talk to you guys about going to your next level. Everybody want to boss up. Everybody want to go to the next level. You know, we just ready for growth and all of that, but nobody wants to be uncomfortable for one. But then the next thing too is the uncomfortable part is letting go of what's old, letting go of the mentality of where you are to grab a hold of the mentality that you need to go to the next thing and also to stay there and maintain there. So one of the analogies I like to use was when I was in the prison, right? So when I was in the prison and I worked there 14 years, some of the best leaders, sergeants, lieutenants, captains, whatever, is the people that knew how to let go of the previous level and grab a hold of what the new level was. An example, as a sergeant, you can no longer act like an officer. You cannot no longer act like an officer. You can relate to them because you started there, but you can no longer stay there and actually be an effective supervisor. The same thing with lieutenants. Anybody that moves to the next level, again, you can relate to there because you started there and you know what it's like. However, you can no longer think that way. As a lieutenant and as a captain, you got a whole compound to run. So as an officer, you just running the dorm. So now you got one dorm with your inmates in there and everything. As a sergeant, you may have two dorms. So now I have to think about not just myself as an officer or the inmates. Now as a sergeant, I got to think about myself, my officers, and the inmates in both dorms, right? As a lieutenant, you have to think about all of that. So your mentality has to shift if you're going to be a good supervisor, if you're going to be a good leader, if you're going to be a good business owner, if you're going to be a good wife. You can no longer just sit there and think, oh, I'm just waiting on him to do stuff for me and I'm never gonna. No, it got to be a reciprocated thing, right, for it to be healthy. So you have to let go of those things. The next thing, analogy I like to think about is, someone said this and I thought this was good food for thought. If someone gives you $1 million today, you better become a millionaire. If you don't become a millionaire, by your way of thinking, you will be broke again in a few years. And you can look at that when these people hit lotto. When they win these scratch-offs, when they hit lotto, they never change the way they thought about money, which is why they run through it and lose it. If something doesn't shift on the inside of you, the way you think about it, you will handle it the same way. That's the same thing with promotion. That's the same thing with your next level or whatever it is that you're trying to go to. And so first natural, now spiritual. Ephesians 4:22 and 23 says, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. Instead, let the spirit renew your attitude and thoughts. Okay, so in order for me to go to this next level, I have to throw off those old things. I have to throw off the mentality of an officer. Now I have to shift to go to be a sergeant. Okay, then as a sergeant going up to a lieutenant, or even in the military for that matter, right? As a business owner, if you go to McDonald's or whatever like that, the mindset of the owner of that business is going to be different than the person that works there. If we're trying to shift and we're trying to go to the next level, we have to understand that our next level requires us to become a new person. It requires us to become we got to shift our mind. We have to shift our mind if we're going to get there and we're going to maintain that. All right, this is Toya and I'm signing out. And I hope you guys were encouraged. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share because it may bless somebody else.